/backup. Like, this is something that I'm trying to create. And if I go ahead with this Linux and I choose Debian and some memory. Okay, so now here what you're gonna have to do, you don't have to do the complete setup once again. You just have to use the select option. Into the manual way, you must have selected on create a virtual hard disk now. But in this case, you're gonna have to click on use an existing virtual hard disk file, right? If you will go with the use an existing virtual hard disk file, you just have to import the backup that I was talking about, and within few seconds, your machine is ready to work again. So this has happened with me also at a lot of times while I used to give the offline workshops, and in the projector in front of a lot of students, like thousands of students were there, and suddenly boom, Kali got crashed. It happens a lot of times, but it's always a good idea to keep a backup. So make sure you go into the storage and take a backup. First of all, this is the first recovery method, or you can say the recovery backup that you should always keep. So again, I'm telling you, go into the settings, and after going into the settings, you need to go into the storage, and then you need to select kalilinux.vdi, just copy and take the backup as soon as possible. That means additional 9 GB backup space will be consumed. Yes, definitely space will be consumed, and not just the 9 GB. I believe you must have of like 30 GB or somewhat like that. So that will be consumed. Okay, so Pinatnath says, hey Saksham, I'm facing issue while installing Kali Linux in MacBook. Okay, so I'm just giving you a Skype ID. Go ahead and connect over there. And I can also see some of the question answers. Okay, let's take the question answers later on. Let's go ahead and complete all the modules of virtual machine at least. And then you have this audio settings as well, Windows Direct Sound, that's pretty much okay. And there comes the important part, the network settings. Now, look at here very carefully. You gotta have to, check the network settings. What happens is that suppose like here is my Kali. Okay, I think even I forgot the password. Let me see if I still remember it. Oh, yes, I do remember it. Okay, so I'll tell you a very quick tweak related to network settings. You're gonna have to do that. Otherwise, there will be a big trouble. Your Windows machine will not be able to communicate with your Linux machine. And basically, it won't be able to communicate over the whole network, which could be a really issue for us. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open up my terminal, and I'm going to increase the size of it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with ifconfig. I'm going to check out this thing as well into my Windows machine. Just give me a second. Command prompt is right here. ifconfig. Okay, so here we can see our IP address as 192.168.1.21. Now, I think I must be receiving this problem because I haven't yet updated and upgraded it. Okay, so you can see when you'll go into your Windows, then when you'll write ipconfig, then you'll be able to see the Internet Protocols configuration. I repeat, when you will go into the command prompt of your Windows, then you'll be able to see the Internet Protocols configuration. In that configuration, you'll be able to see your IP address, and you'll be able to see your MAC address as well. So is there anyone who doesn't know what IP address is and what MAC address is? Feel free to write it in chat, and I'm going to make you understand that. Okay, how many of you people haven't yet upgraded and updated your Linux machine? Just give me a quick response. Okay. Again, installing it died. Yes, see, that's the fun of hacking. In the starting you are going to receive a lot of problems, but later on you're gonna be used to with all the problems. This happens. You find the bugs, it gets tricky, it gets like, yes, I'm facing another error again. So from today onwards, stop complaining about the bugs. You're going to receive them a lot, because that's what we do. Explain about IP address and MAC address. Okay, let's talk about IP address and MAC address. For that, I'll have to open up one of my research. I have followed the YT video. Is that it? Yes, definitely. That's it. Okay. So some people are requesting to, explain the IP address and the MAC address as well. So I have opened up a special PPT for them. So give me a second. Okay. So here I believe I had this thing called as IP address. So an IP address is definitely an internet protocol. Basically, that's what they say. But because when two machines are communicating with each other, suppose there is this one machine and there is the second machine, if they want to make any kind of connection, that cannot be made without these two things. That is called as IP address and the MAC address. These are the two basic requirements in order to complete a connection in between one machine and second machine. What happens when you go onto the internet? What are you actually doing onto the internet? You are basically communicating with somebody else's machine. Somebody else's machine is there on internet. Here he is publicly hosting some kind of coding files that are getting fetched onto your browsers. So in that case also, when you write something into the URL, you are not like, internet is not air. A lot of machines are shared each other, and that's how they are communicating each other. That's into the starting days, people were just using it as a local network. A lot of military based people into the USA, they were using it in between the networks only. That was called as ARPANET, right? Into the ARPANET, these military people were each other, and this technology was only used in between those military peoples only. Later on, they researched about it, and then things started getting evolved. And then a common man also started interacted with some other device with the help of this networking thing, which was made possible with the help of IP address. Now, what does the IP address does? It gives you a different identity, of some numbers, you can say, which are set it up into the different ports, you can say. In these ports, you have this IP address as well, and you have this unique identifier number in here. What happens, like 192.168.1.1, suppose you have a connection of Airtel, and like I want to give the connection of Airtel to the whole state. How does that happens? The ISP, that is Internet Service Provider, what they'll do, the Airtel guy will say, okay, I need to give 10 connections in this road. Then it's like going to be like 192.168.1.1.2.3.4. Likewise, he'll be allocating his IP addresses all around. So I hope, just a quick fundamental about what exactly the IP address is clear to you all. Just give me a quick response, and then we'll be jumping on to explaining the MAC address as well. Like I told you, an IP address serves two principal functions. Yeah, this is also very important. One is the host. The second one is the network interface identification, or the location addressing, that is done with the help of IP address. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I want to watch the class first. Okay, just don't ask the doubts for a while, because we have to complete the session, and then in the end we'll be taking the doubts. Let's just have the doubts, whatever I'm asking right now. Like if I say, if you have any problem related to IP address, then I'm gonna talk about it. Else, we can, I give you the complete time. Once we feel like, we have studied a lot, I start talking to you automatically. So you don't need to worry about your doubts. We are going to solve all of your doubts. Keep your mind clean, relax, calm, and then try to study whatever I'm teaching you right here. Okay, so what is IP and IPv6? That's a very good question. MAC address is nothing but physical address. I am having not taking this question. IP address depends on ISPs. Yes. Today we are using Airtel and next day Jio. How does it work? Yes. So basically what happens is there is nothing like, Airtel is taking some kind of, satellites, they are sharing, how it is done. The satellites are there and, they are making a lot of connections, a lot of towers are there, and they take these towers for rent, right? Sometimes Geo is taking a lot of towers out there, and then Airtel is taking their tower on rent, and then they are making these connections. So this is why, a new company comes up with their own internet connections. That's how, one day we are using Airtel, and the next day we are using Geo. Can we change the MAC address? Yes, we can change the MAC address. If we get updates or it is showing not understand in combination with the other option, we're going to take that down after a while. Make sure you don't just spend your energy in asking the doubts. Make sure you just spend your energy more about the topic that I'm teaching you right now. I'm definitely going to take the doubts again and again. Else, eventually you'll also get irritated. Because you want to study, but the doubts will keep on coming. So which is why we have kept a Monday to Friday support thing, and we are sorting out really quickly about the groups and these kind of requests that we are getting. Okay, if IP like the dynamic, then how can we hackers catch data? See, dynamic IP is just to create the session, while you have the static IP address. Your internet service provider is not giving you the dynamic IP address basically. Your internet service provider is giving you one static address, and then in order to create the session, basically your browser is using the dynamic IP address. Okay. Please repeat IP address once. Okay. So a quick refresher in the end, and then we are going to go up with only one question that I have received related to IP address. That is, what is the difference between IPv4 and IPv6? Sai Teja says, I kept an email for support, but okay. Sai Teja, I would like to request you to forward that email ID on my personal email ID. That is iNeuron.ai, and I'll look into that personally, because support team is not solving the doubts. They are looking for the platform related queries. All the doubts are taken care by me personally. So just a quick refresher, IP address and MAC address is your middle barrier in order to complete the connection from this computer to another. That's what you need to know about. IP address, it's a protocol, and then you have, you have a lot of bytes stored under the different rooms right here. You need to understand this as well. So make sure you just see that, like, it's 172.16.254.1. So 1 byte has 8 bits in here, right? So it is a 32 bits of IP address, right? So the total bit that you have in an IP address is 32. That is what your subnet is. Now you should know about what exactly the subnet mask is. Make sure whatever I'm teaching you, you take this knowledge by keeping your eyes super open, because these are the fundamentals that you are going to realize later on. They are super helpful. Like, the subnet that I'm talking about, when you'll go network related attacks, then you should know that what exactly the subnet mask is and what bytes are there. So you can see that the subnet mask is 32 right here. That is the subnet. Subnet is 32 bit here. And if I say that, like, suppose instead of this 1, this gets 0, then what will be the subnet mask of this IP address? Just give me a quick response. I repeat my question, if it is going to be 172.16.254.0, then what will be the subnet mask of this? So I'm getting some responses in here. It's not always 172, it's not necessary that it's 172. Okay, so some people are saying 255 dot. Okay, some people are saying 24. Some people are saying 32 byte. How come if the last room is like it's like 0 instead of 1, it's 0? Then how will it get 32 bytes? It has a 0 and one room is of 8 bits. Then how will it get 32 bits again? Yes, you can definitely get notes for this session, and you are already getting the live recordings, so you can check them onto your dashboards. Okay. We are going to talk about the anonymity, Pratik, really soon. Yes, definitely. I'm going to take the queries later. Can't connect. What topic you're teaching today? Today we are trying to jump onto the fundamentals. We were doing a quick network settings, and then people raised up the queries that they don't know what exactly the IP address is and the MAC address is. So we are taking a very small fundamental about what IP address is and MAC address is, and then later on we are going to jump onto the Linux fundamentals. What is the community website forum? Community website forum. I didn't got your question. Please send your question again. I can use command for update, but password, no. Okay, so we have got some more question, more answers, and I can see people coming up on right track. So we have got the complete mathematics saying 8 into 3 is 24, which is the right answer. So the people who said 24, hooray, you got the concept. Okay, PDFs will be provided or not? Yes, PDFs and all the presentations that I'm showing you here is already uploaded into the dashboard. Okay, can we get this PPT file? Yes, you can definitely get this PPT file. I'll ask my team to upload this PPT file as well into the resource section. Community website address, forgot to note it down. Keep your eyes open, wide open. Okay, so the community group link was web.codercommunity.io/G/cybersecurity. So you're going to see this link getting active in your web-based machines after like 4-5 hours from now, because our team is still working on it. But I just wanted to give you a quick idea about what we are doing related to doubts and these kind of. This is going to be a super amazing Discord, I'm telling you. Okay, so I believe everybody have understood that what exactly the IP address is into the technical terms. And now the question was that why IPv6 came up. But before you ask this question, that why, what is the difference between IPv4 and IPv6? That is one question that you should ask yourself first, that why not IPv5? What happened to IPv5? If IPv4 is there, why not IPv5 is not there? But directly we have IPv6, IPv4 to IPv6. Where is IP5? Is it the Apple thing going on here? Is 5 is unlucky word or what? No, I'll tell you the reason. So IPv5 was one of the most disastrous invention by our computer engineers, you can say. It was super vulnerable and it was not at all secure. And I have no idea how Intel guys have done this, but without any security audit, they have exported all the IPv5 ports into your laptops and into your systems. Yes, I'm telling you truth. You already have the IPv5 port inside your systems. And you know what? That IPv5 port is not at all active. So this is something that you need to know, which is why the company later on realized that it is super vulnerable. They didn't went for any kind of security audits. Hackers came up, they showed up, and they terribly manipulated it, which is why IP v5 was discontinued, looking at its disastrous outcomes because they have not done the security audit for that. And then the IPv6 comes. So into the IPv6, what is the difference? The main difference between IPv6 and IPv4. Can anyone tell me what is the main difference in IPv6 and IPv4? I'm just going to give you a quick clue. Like 1 byte is of 8 bits here. So what do you think the 1 byte is of how many bits there in IPv6? Give me a quick response. How many bytes, how many bits you have into the IPv6? Some says 64, some says 32, some says 128. 32, 128, 16, 64. Okay, I'm getting amazing responses. 16, 16. Are you sure it's 16? A lot of people are saying 16. Some are saying 64 bytes. Some are saying 128 bytes. Okay, I'm just mispronouncing it. It's not bytes, it's bits. So make sure you call it bit only. Okay, so I can see some, okay, still I'm getting a lot of responses. So yes. So now that's how I love to get the answer like the Narendra has given it, 16 into 8. This makes sense. Okay, so the right answer is some are saying 8 bytes, 16 bytes, 68. Okay, no DT. It's going to be into this calculation only, and you have 128 bits into IPv6 just in a single room. So, like you have one room, this one room is of 8 bits. Likewise, in IPv6, you have this one room of 128 bits. Then you have another room as well, and then you have a lot of rooms in here because it is into the hexadecimal thing, right? So yes. So IPv6 has some extra bits because it is believed that we have invented a lot of devices that are using Wi-Fi, and we are going to go out of it because we are really running on a shortage of internet into this world, and there will be a saturation point when we all will be shifted to IPv6. So this is kind of a backup that the inventors has introduced in order to if the internet doesn't get out of shortage, you can say. So yes, this is the main difference on in between IPv4 and IPv6. IPv6 is super powerful out. Then you have MAC address as well. Now, what do I tell you about MAC address? I mean, MAC address is a burnt-in address. Like it's basically a hardware into your system. I'm just gonna show you a quick picture of the MAC address. So then you will realize that how we are changing it and how like till what extent we can clone it or mask it or whatever the things are happening with the Mac port. So I believe yes, this is the one. It's just bringing you the picture of, yes, I found it finally. So now you can see right here that this is the physical device that is there inside your systems. I'm going to take you through a very deep study of computer first of all, because first of all, you need to understand that what is happening around and how things came up. So this is how your MAC address looks like, and you can see it is there into the WLAN port. And then you can see that MAC ID is also written right here. And then you can see that it is later on expanded with the main and the auxiliary port, you can say. And you'll later on understand that what is the auxiliary scan and what is the auxiliary ports and these kind of things. But just remember this, that you have this MAC hardware, MAC address hardware that is there into your systems, into your laptops, into your CPUs and these kind of things. So now the question is, can we change the MAC address? Because it is a hardware. So can you change the MAC address? Just give me a quick response. Faiz Ahmed says no. Some people say yes, no, yes, no. Amit says no. Okay, it's the yes, no shooting up on the way. Right. So we can change MAC address, but it's difficult, little bit difficult. No, not at all difficult. Okay, let's learn today how to change the MAC address. What say? Not for physical, but yes, for virtual. Okay. We can update firmware, software. No, you do whatever you want to do with software. When the hardware is there, then how will you be able to change this hardware? So basically, the funda is you don't change the MAC address, you mask it, right? Do you know what exactly the meaning of masking is? There is this like physical MAC address. We are masking it up with our fake MAC address, and we can keep any MAC address with that. So when you mask this MAC address inside your operating system, so when you start your operating system once again, then again you'll be able to see your original MAC address right there. So today, these were the two main concepts that I have just now taught you, that in order to make a network connection or any kind of connection in between two devices, you need two things that is called as IP address, and second one is the MAC address. We can spoof the MAC address. We cannot change the MAC address. We can mask the MAC address, but we cannot change the MAC address. Okay. So if it is soldered on green plate, yes, it is soldered on that green plate that you have into your systems. Okay. So I hope I was pretty much able to make sense to you about these two major networking devices that you have into your systems. So now let's come on to that point that I was telling you at that time. So now you can see that I have taken out the IP address of my Linux machine, and it looks very weird. And definitely it doesn't matches up with the command prompt of my primary system. That is 192.168.1.1, 1.21 actually. But right now, here it says 10.5. Now, this is not at all right, because when you'll go ahead and when you'll try to ping 10.0.2.255 and I'll hit enter, then you can see nothing is happening. The request timed out because my primary machine isn't able to reach out to this Linux machine, and this is really not a good thing. So we will make it to reach out. Control C is used for killing the process, whether it is command prompt or it is the terminal of your Linux, you can say. So now what we are going to do, we are going to use the bridged networking technique. That can be done. How that can be done? Into your settings of VirtualBox. Into the VMware also it is same. So you can see into the network settings. Right now we have this adapter that is not only adapter net, and then you have a lot of other adapters as well. So they have also recently introduced the cloud network as well. But as you can see that it is into the experimental. Then you had that was selected. Generic driver, host only adapter, internal network. That is what the iNet or ARPANET these people were using. Then you have this bridge adapter. Now, what bridge adapter will do? It will bridge the connection in between your primary operating system and your Kali Linux operating system. So this is called as the bridge networking process, which we need to follow right here. And you can see that there are a lot of wireless listed over here, but these wireless are not at all worth it. So you can see it's Realtek PCE, Remote NDIS. I know that I have Intel's wireless right here, and you can see you can go into the advanced, and then you have one more thing, that is promiscuous mode, that is into some of the mode. You can say that it is going to stay away from in contacting with your primary operating system. But in this case, two VMs, for example, in some of the cases, we are going to exploit Windows machine